My beloved child, there are warnings I place along your path, not to frighten you, but to guard your body and your spirit from a coming shaking. When your soul grows weary, when your thoughts begin to feel tangled, when your emotions suddenly seem unfamiliar, these are not merely natural changes. They are my gentle nudges to you, my way of telling you that something ahead calls for caution, for readiness, for watchfulness. I never let you step into a place of darkness without first sowing signs along the way. But when you overlook the signals I send, you do not merely miss a reminder. You are stepping outside the very hedge of protection I, myself, have placed around you. I want you to learn how to open your spiritual eyes so that every step you take is no longer vague or uncertain, but becomes a deliberate movement forward in the light I am shining for you. Do you remember the story of Samuel when he was still a child? When my voice called out to him, he thought it was the voice of his teacher, Eli. 3 times Samuel heard but did not recognize, saw yet did not see, was called yet did not answer. But when he learned how to listen, when he said, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening," the destiny of all Israel turned in a new direction. You see, just one moment of truly recognizing my voice, just one moment is enough to turn the entire course of a person's spiritual life. The greatest danger is not that I am silent, but that you hear me and believe you have heard nothing at all. My child, you do not step into spiritual danger only through fierce attacks. You enter it little by little, from the small signs I send that you treat lightly. A fleeting unrest, a quiet stirring in your heart, a circumstance that forces you to pause, these are all warning signs I set up along your way. When you keep going without paying attention, you are opening a door for unseen influences to slip into your heart. I do not want you to live in fear. I want you to live in fear, discernment, for it is discernment that will save you from the turning points I never intended for you to take. When you call my name again and again, there are moments I answer you through signs and signals, yet you dismiss them as mere coincidence. You want me to speak loudly, but you ignore the still, small whispers. You want me to reveal things with great clarity, yet you loosen your spiritual sensitivity whenever your mind is pulled toward fleeting pleasures, nameless worries, and the roar of the world around you. You do not see that your indifference to the small signals today will make it harder for you to recognize the greater warnings of tomorrow. Spiritual danger rarely arrives with an explosion. It comes through those many moments when your inner being grows dim and fogged over. And when you grow accustomed to brushing aside my gentle reminders, your heart quietly creates a distance between you and me. It is not that I move away, it is that you pass by too many crossroads without looking back. I still place signs along the road, I still speak to you, I still send ripples into your spirit, but you walk quickly, hurriedly, following other sounds instead. What I long to teach you today is not only to see, but to refuse to become familiar with not seeing. For the moment you begin to ignore the little things, you will fail to recognize when I am pulling you back from the very edge of a cliff your natural eyes cannot perceive. You are surrounded by thousands of sounds, thousands of images, and thousands of distractions tugging at your mind, making your spirit grow dull to my voice. The signs I place directly before you, a verse of scripture appearing at the exact moment your heart is in turmoil, a message that pierces you unexpectedly, a gentle prompting within your spirit, none of these are random. But when you treat them like meaningless notifications, you begin to lose the ability to distinguish between the messages of people and the messages from me. That is the starting point of spiritual danger. When you look but no longer see, when what is sacred becomes ordinary, and when your heart stops being tender to my guidance. My dear one, there are moments when I place a sign right before your eyes and you walk past it as if it were just a harmless breeze. I do not condemn you, but I see your heart growing accustomed to ignoring the whispers I send. When something in your day suddenly feels off, when your spirit tightens, or when a Bible verse appears unexpectedly in the middle of your confusion, none of that is coincidence. Yet because your soul is covered by hurry, fatigue, and daily preoccupations, those gentle reminders become faint and blur into the background. And as you treat the small things lightly, you step into a spiritual gray zone, a place where the danger does not lie in darkness itself, but in the fact that you no longer recognize the light I have prepared just for you. I call you not to scare you, but to gently awaken spiritual eyes that have fallen asleep through too many days of living on autopilot. I know you have never deliberately tried to ignore me, but small, unintended neglect can sometimes open wide gaps for the enemy to slip through. When you rush past the signals I send, your heart slowly becomes hardened, like dry ground that has not tasted water in a long time. This does not show on the surface right away, because spiritual dryness always begins in silence. A little delay, a little dismissal, a little carelessness. Then when you finally long to hear me, you say that I am silent, while it is your own heart that has invited in too many other noises. I have not abandoned you, but you must see that losing sensitivity is losing the shield of protection I have placed over your life. You know, there are times it is not because you are stubborn, but because this world has trained you to see everything in its own way. The bright lights, the constant stream of messages, the stories you scroll through on a screen, all these things accustom you to a frantic pace that makes you forget how to stop. You wait for me to speak through something grand and dramatic, yet I often whisper through the tiniest shifts within your heart. And if your inner being is tense and overburdened, you will miss what is sacred. Distraction does not only steal your focus, it suffocates your ability to recognize what comes from heaven, those things that need quiet space in order to be seen. The more hurriedly you live, the more you feel as though I am distant, when in truth it is you who no longer has any stillness left to hear me. There is something else you rarely notice. The signs I send do not always look as miraculous as you expect. I do not often use thunder and lightning. I more often use slight tremors in your soul, very subtle disruptions in your day to nudge you. But you invest so much emotion in the loud things, shocking news, dramatic stories, captivating images online. When your spirit is trained by that constant noise, it becomes difficult for you to recognize what is gentle from me. You are not evil. You are simply running according to the rhythm of the world, a rhythm that dims what is holy and swallows up my guidance in a flood of competing sounds. I am patient, yet I want you to see this truth so you will not push yourself further and further away from my loving voice. Remember the story of Elisha and his servant. When the enemy's army surrounded the city, the servant trembled with fear because all he could see was danger. Elisha said, "Do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." When he prayed, the servant's eyes were opened, and he saw the host of angels covering them. The danger was still there, the pressure was still there, the darkness was still there, but because he relied only on his natural eyes, he had missed the spiritual reality surrounding him. You are the same. When your spiritual eyes are closed, you see only what feeds your fear, not the angels I have appointed to guard you. The signs I send are meant to open your eyes, to let you see that I am closer to you than you think. My child, I do not want you to condemn yourself. I do not want you to look back and see only your faults. I want you to return with new eyes, eyes that seek my presence in even the smallest moments of your day. If you will simply set aside a little time to pause and ask, "Lord, what do you want me to notice today?" you will be surprised at how readily I answer. I have never left you. I am still speaking, still sending signs, simply waiting for you to open your heart and receive. The more sensitive you become to my leading, the more you will escape the hidden spiritual traps the enemy quietly sets for you. I am calling you back, not to punish you, but to keep you safe in the light. And as you gradually begin to recognize what I am sending you, you will start to see more clearly that there are things which seem harmless yet touch your soul far more deeply than you realize. The small details, the slightest movements in your mind, the passing invitations that brush by your awareness, all of these can pull you off the path I have prepared for you. Then you will understand that behind every little distraction there is an unseen force at work. Not everything you face is random. Some things are arranged in such a way that they quietly lead you away from me. And it is precisely this awareness that will open for you a new doorway, a place where you begin to see that distraction is not simply a matter of being busy, but a subtle strategy aimed at your very soul. My dear child, there are things in your heart that you assume are nothing more than a bit of harmless busyness. Yet, in truth, they are pushing you into another current, a current that slowly makes your spirit heavy without you ever noticing. Those gentle tremors in your soul, those moments when you feel yourself being pulled away without understanding why. All of them reveal that there is an invisible battle quietly circling your life. I see the weariness in your eyes, the tangle in your thoughts, and I know they do not come from a simple source. You only feel pressure, but I see the silent waves of attack trying to slip into the deepest places of your soul. And I want you to understand this, not to frighten you, but so you will know that every moment you feel lost has a spiritual cause hidden behind it. There are days when you find yourself wondering why you have become so easily discouraged, so quick to grow impatient, so ready to give up. You tell yourself it is only because work is exhausting, or your health is not good, or small annoyances keep upsetting your peace. But you do not realize that this scattering within you is not merely a passing emotion. It is the target of a subtle strategy designed to draw you away from me, little by little, with each passing day. The enemy does not always need a great storm to bring you down. It only needs to keep you busy, to wear you out, to distract you, to make you forget to seek me. As long as you think you are just overloaded, you will not notice that your soul is being worn away. And the sorrowful thing is that when everything begins to fall apart, you often blame yourself before you recognize the spiritual battle behind that weariness. Do you see that whenever your mind falls into confusion, it becomes harder for you to hear my voice? It is not because I am silent, but because the layers of noise within you grow so thick that they block out every reminder I send. You open your heart too widely to the world, and without meaning to, you close your heart to me at the very moment you need me most. The negative thoughts, the nameless anxieties, the vague emotions that suddenly appear, they are not only psychological states, at times they are doors through which the enemy slips in to sow more confusion and doubt. It knows that if it can keep you preoccupied long enough, you will drift away from the true source of your strength, which is my presence. And it will keep doing this until you forget the sense of peace I once placed deep within you, my beloved child. I am not telling you this so that you would be terrified, but so that you would awaken. Every time you recognize that distraction is slipping into your spirit, that recognition itself is already a victory. If you would only pause and say, "Lord, please draw me back," the entire spiritual atmosphere around you is already changed. I do not need you to be strong all at once. I only need you to turn back. You do not have to withstand the invisible onslaught by yourself. When you call on me, I immediately stand between you and every arrow your eyes cannot see. I have been protecting you, even when you do not notice. But I desire you to be aware, so that you no longer have to fight alone on the days when you feel like you are sinking. Your return to me does not begin with a great transformation, but with a single moment when you lift your gaze toward me. And as you begin to grasp the truth behind these unseen distractions, your heart will be brightened to recognize that there are small, ordinary things in each day that touch your soul more powerfully than you would ever expect. The quiet voices in your mind, the strange stirrings in your emotions, the thoughts that steal your peace. They do not appear by accident. In time, you will see that every choice to pay attention, every minute you devote to your inner life, can become a doorway that opens or closes to the unseen realm moving around you. And when you look deeper, you will realize that distraction never comes alone. It always carries with it whispers that make you question me, question my love for you. That very awareness will draw your heart closer to what I long to show you next, something that, if you do not stay alert, can slowly extinguish the flame of love I lit in your heart from the very beginning. My child, there are moments when your heart suddenly grows heavy without any clear reason. Quiet questions slip into your mind. Is the Lord still with me? Does He hear my prayers, or am I just speaking into emptiness? I see every empty space within you, and I know they do not appear by chance. Prolonged distraction will lead you to a point where you are no longer sure of my love. It does not come with shouting, but with a long silence that makes you think I am distant. And when that takes root, you begin to feel as though you are walking alone on a path where, in truth, I have been walking beside you, step by step, all along. There are days when you have tried your very best and still do not see your prayers answered, and you grow so tired that you begin to believe I have forgotten you. You sigh in loneliness and assume that my silence means I do not care, yet you do not know that precisely. When you think I am far, I am holding you closest. I am lifting you out of dangers you cannot see. I am blocking wounds you never even knew were coming. But when your spirit is exhausted, you easily mistake my delay for rejection. You forget that sometimes I slow things down to heal you before I bless you. I hold you back because you are not yet ready for what you are asking for. My silence is not abandonment, but my ordering of all things in holy stillness. The enemy's whispers take advantage of those fragile moments. They tell you that your prayers are useless, that you are not good enough for me to notice, that you are fighting through life entirely on your own. They want you to believe that I love others more than I love you, that you are just a forgotten name in the midst of my providence. And if you listen to those lies long enough, you will begin to doubt not only my promises, but also the very identity I have given you, that you are my child, loved by me, kept by me. That doubt does not arrive noisily. It comes like a thin shadow, slowly dimming the light within your spirit, causing you to see everything through eyes filled with confusion. My child, I wish you could know that I have never left you, not for a single moment. Every time you feel yourself falling, it is I who hold you back from crashing to the bottom. Every time you feel like you cannot breathe, it is I who place my hand upon your heart so that it does not shatter. You see only silence, but I see the entire road ahead of you that you have not yet glimpsed. When you are weary and think I am quiet, I am building something that you will only understand once you step into it and look back on why I had to work so silently. Let me remind you that my love for you is not based on your shifting emotions, but on my very nature, a nature that does not change, does not grow tired, and never abandons. And then, when you become still enough to truly recognize this, you will see that doubt does more than weaken your faith. It steals the closeness I have always desired to keep between you and me. You will understand that whenever you allow doubt to slip in, you are also opening another door, one that leaves you more vulnerable in the spiritual realm. You will come to see that doubt never travels alone. It always drags along delay, fear, and retreat. And from that realization, your heart will begin to look more deeply into the things you have not yet surrendered, into the steps you still have not dared to take, as though an invisible hand were holding you back in places you thought you had already left behind. You will recognize that behind those doubts lie old chains, the very things that make you stop just when I am calling you forward. And this will lead you into another, deeper layer of the journey where I desire you to see how nostalgia and hesitation can cause you to lock yourself inside a darkness you only believed you had already escaped. My beloved child, there are moments when I know your heart trembles before the things you cannot grasp, and I see the exhaustion weighing heavily upon those small shoulders of yours. You want to understand everything at once, to know why I allow certain things to happen, to see clearly the path ahead before you take the first step. But the spiritual journey does not operate according to the logic you are used to holding on to, and my love for you is not measured by how quickly I give you answers. I want you to trust me even when I do not explain. I want you to take my hand even when the way ahead still seems vague. I want your heart to find peace not through what you know, but through the one to whom you cling. When you stop because you are afraid, I still move toward your side. When you are so weak that you can no longer stand, I do not push you forward. I stoop down and carry you in my own arms, like a father who has never despised the child he loves. And I want you to feel that, to see that the steadiness of this journey has never depended on your strength, but has always rested in my faithful keeping. I understand every empty space in your soul, the places where you try to hide your anxieties, the little corners you do not want anyone to touch. You are afraid. You are not strong enough, not good enough, not persistent enough to reach the end of the road I have set before you. But my child, I have never demanded that you be strong enough. I have never required you to present a flawless resilience. I have never wanted you to struggle in your own strength. If you force yourself to be strong, you will be exhausted. If you rely on your own efforts, you will lose your way. If you try to stand just to prove to me that you are strong, you have misunderstood my whole heart for you. I do not need you to pretend to be okay. I only need you to honestly lean on me. You think that weakness is failure, but to me, weakness is the place where I can step in and uphold you. Precisely when you have no strength left, I can reveal the fullness of my power. You do not see this at work, because the moments when you are most weary are also the moments when I am closest to you. Do you remember how many times you wanted to give up in silence? The nights when you held your pain so tightly inside and did not dare to utter a word for fear of bothering me, for fear of disappointing me, for fear that the silence would only make you hurt more. But my beloved, I have never seen you as a burden. I have never refused even a single sigh of yours. I never wave you away when you come to me in exhaustion. On the contrary, I wait for those very moments to draw you closer, to heal the wounds you yourself have forgotten you carry. Every time you sit in tears, I do not stand at a distance watching. I kneel right beside you to listen to every trembling beat of your heart. Every time you are so weak that all you can do is clutch at the hem of my garment, I do not rebuke you at all. I simply lift you up and say, "You do not have to try any harder. Let me be strong in your place." There are things you have been praying for again and again and still have not seen an answer, and you think I am slow. You sigh, "Lord, are you still hearing me?" But you do not know that this slowness is the shield I raise to protect your soul from things you are not yet ready to receive. If I were to give you what you want at a time when you do not yet have the strength to hold it, that very good gift could become a burden that shatters you. I delay not because I forget you, but because I am arranging everything so that the blessing will become life, not a trial you cannot bear. I know when you are strong, when you are weak, when you should step forward, and when you should stop. You do not need to understand everything right now. You only need to trust that I am leading in a way far more complete than what your eyes can see. My child, I want you to know that even on the days when you think you are slipping away from faith, I am still holding you with a hand that has never let go. There are waves of emotion that make you think you are drifting far from me, but in reality, I am the one standing between you and everything that wants to sweep you away. There are times when your heart grows cold, not because you do not love me, but because you are so tired that you can no longer keep the fire in your hands. And I, as a father watching you grow day by day, never blame you for that. I simply kindle the fire again for you. I simply remind you that my love does not change according to your emotions. I only want you to understand that the very moment you breathe one call to me, I am already right there. I see the way. You try to hold yourself upright with heavy self-talk. I hear even the sentences you never say out loud. I am not worthy. I am not good enough. If I am weak, surely God is sad. But my child, you have been deceived. It is precisely when you are weak that I am nearest to you. It is precisely when you are weary that I carry you in my arms. You do not disappoint me just because you have collapsed. You are not far from me just because you have reached your limits. I know every boundary within your heart, and I cherish even the smallest attempts you make. My love is not shaken by your stumbles, because from the very beginning I accepted you with all of those falls. You belong to me in your weakness, not in the perfection you try to manufacture. My child, I want to tell you something very true. You have misunderstood for too long that faith is only strong when you do not tremble. But true faith is this: even while you tremble, you still hold on to me. Even when you do not understand, you still choose to trust. Even when you cannot see the road, you still walk toward the small light I place right in front of you. Even when you are weak, you still allow me to embrace you. That is real faith. Weak yet leaning on me, weary yet not leaving me, not understanding yet still believing that I am working in your life with love and purpose. I know you are seeking an answer. I know you want to see with your eyes. But sometimes I do not let you see with your eyes so that you can learn to see with your spirit. A child does not need to know what his father is doing in order to sleep peacefully in his father's arms. So it is with you, my beloved child. Let your spirit learn how to rest. Let those small hands of yours relax in mine. You do not have to understand everything in order to have peace. You only need to trust in me, the one who has never broken a promise, who has never abandoned you, who has never left you to fight alone. I am the one who heals you, not only the wounds you can see, but also the cracks in your heart that you, yourself, do not know how to name. I am the one who keeps you, not only in the days of peace, but even in the nights when you think you have lost all hope. I am the one who carries you, not only when you call out, but even when you are silent from exhaustion. You are not walking alone. You have never walked alone. You only need to turn your face, and you will see that I am standing so close that the moment you exhale, I already hear that breath. And my child, I want you to know the most important thing. I am not only leading you through this season, I am leading you into a new place. A place where my strength will cover every weak place in you. A place where your weariness will become an open door for me to reveal my kindness. A place where you will look back and say, if it had not been for the Lord, I would never have made it this far. That is what I am doing. That is the journey I am weaving. And every step you take, trembling, slow, or weary, is bringing you closer to the good things I prepared for you before you were ever formed. So rest in me. Trust me when you see nothing. Lean on me when you have no strength left. Let me be strong for you. Let me heal you. Let me hold you. For you are mine, forever mine, and I have never, nor will I ever, loosen the hands that are holding you. My beloved child, what you felt yesterday was not just a passing uneasiness, not merely a tiredness of the body or a slight wavering in your spirit. Those signals carry a meaning far deeper than you think, beyond the boundaries of momentary emotions or your physical condition in a single moment. They are a reminder from heaven of what I have sown into your life, of a direction you were created to walk in, of a calling that even you yourself sometimes do not yet have the courage to acknowledge. You often think you are only struggling with ordinary challenges, but I see another layer, spiritual movements swirling around you because a great calling is being readied to be revealed. I want you to understand that every trembling in your soul, every gentle warning, every time your heart feels overwhelmed, is not a sign of weakness, but a sign that something greater is drawing near. For before every glory I give, there is always a stirring to prepare your heart for what is about to change your life forever. My child, do you know why in these recent days you find it easier to lose heart than before? Why just a little pressure makes your mind feel as heavy as lead, and the smallest things are enough to make you want to give up? It is not because you are weak, it is because the enemy has seen what you have not yet seen. It sees the potential I have placed within you. It sees the light I have kindled in your heart, and it is afraid that this light will flare up. It knows that if you step into what I have prepared, you will not only be delivered but will become a channel of deliverance for many others. It will do everything it can to make you draw back before you can even touch that door. It sows doubt in your mind, puts weight on your feet, making you think you are on the wrong path or that I have forgotten you. But my child, these very attacks are the clear evidence that you are closer than ever to the breakthrough I have ordained for you. In the unseen realm, nothing happens by accident. When darkness attacks, the hardest is precisely when your light is about to shine more brightly than ever. You cannot see it with your natural eyes, but I see every step you take, every tear you shed, every breath you choke back just to keep standing. You think you are growing weaker, but in truth you are being refined. Every pressure upon your life is not meant to crush you, but to shape you according to my will. Just as gold must pass through fire to become pure, so your faith must be forged to become sharp, strong, and unshakable. When you see everything around you trembling, remember that I am stabilizing the foundation within you, so that when the great winds come, you will remain standing and not be swept away. My child, I know there are moments when you feel utterly alone, when it seems as though all of heaven is silent, when your prayers feel as if they are falling into a vast emptiness. But I am still at work even in the very moment you think I am farthest from you. I am preparing things that go beyond your understanding, rearranging circumstances your eyes have not yet seen, opening doors your ears have not yet heard of. I am still working in the quiet, because there are arrangements that can only be built in stillness. You do not hear me not because I am not speaking, but because I am placing everything into its right position so that at the appointed time, all things will unfold in the most perfect way. The battles you are facing now, even though they feel heavy, are only temporary. They are like the dark, swirling clouds that gather before a rain of blessing. They will not last forever, and they do not have the right to define your life. The victory I have for you is not a brief or passing victory. It is a victory written with the word eternal. It is a victory that transcends time, circumstances, and human limitation. What I am preparing for you is not coming merely to comfort you for a short season. It is coming to change the course of your whole journey forever. You will no longer live as you used to live, no longer think as you used to think. For when I open my door, the old things will pass away and a new season will begin. But for you to step into that new season, I need you to be awake. I need you to pay attention to every sign, every gentle reminder, every stirring in your heart that I am whispering into your spirit. Each sign I send is a stone laid on the path that leads you into your spiritual destiny. When you miss a sign, you may miss a major turning point. I do not want that to happen. That is why I am using every way dreams, holy restlessness, words from others that keep echoing in your heart to keep you from going off course. I want you to be prepared to receive what is coming, because a person who is unprepared can easily let blessings slip through their fingers without even realizing it. My beloved child, this is the time for you to open your heart wider, deeper than before. This is the time for you to place your trust not in what you see, but in what I am doing. I need you to be ready, because your breakthrough is nearer than it has ever been. It is so near that if you give up now, you will lose the chance to see it. But I did not create you to give up. I created you to press through, to rise above, to become a living testimony of my power. Do not let the attacks deceive you. They are announcing that a great door is opening, and you need to know this. The blessings that are coming are not only answers to the prayers you have already prayed, but gifts that go far beyond what you have ever dared to hope for. There will be things that come to you that you never even asked for, opportunities that appear when you least expect them, people I will bring into your life at the exact moment you need them. Doors that seem to have been shut long ago will suddenly open again. Dreams you thought you had lost will begin to come alive once more in your heart, and you will find yourself standing in a new season of widening and expansion, where you will see clearly that everything which once made you weary was never meant to destroy you, but to prepare you. Oh, my child, I speak this to you in love and patience. Do not let go. Do not lose heart. You cannot see the whole journey, but I see from the beginning to the end. I know how to lead you, how to keep you, how to make a way for you. You do not need to understand everything. You only need to believe that I will never abandon you. You are my child, and your destiny is written by my own hand. No one can erase it. Keep walking, even if your legs are trembling. Keep believing, even when your eyes have not yet seen. Keep standing, even when your heart is still shaking. For I am drawing near, nearer than you think, nearer than your fears, nearer than the limits you have set for yourself. And when I touch your circumstances, everything will change. Be strong, my child, for I am doing a great work in your life. My beloved child, let me speak to you with all the tenderness and solemnity of a father who loves his child with all his heart. Let me help you understand why I so earnestly call you to stay awake, why I long for you to stay close to me above all else. Because in this world, not every voice leads you to life, and not every path brings you into peace. There are things you see that appear harmless, yet they have the power to steal away your spiritual sensitivity. There are things you hear in passing that seem unrelated, yet they slowly and quietly draw your heart away from me. I do not want you to lose the freshness of your spirit. I do not want you to trade your light for a few seductive calls from the world. That is why I plead with you. Open your heart, open your mind, open your spiritual ears, so that you do not only hear me with your outer ears, but perceive me with your whole soul. You must be ready. You must keep your heart awake, always alert to the signs I send in every moment. This world never stops trying to wear your heart down, distracting you with things that seem small but carry a strange power to pull you away. It keeps you so busy that time with me begins to feel like a luxury. It pulls you into what is right in front of your eyes until you forget what is eternal. Do you see it? Every time you postpone prayer, every time you neglect reading my word, every time you tell yourself, later, that is the very moment the spiritual flame within you grows dimmer. I am not asking you to become strong all at once, but I do not want your heart to slip into spiritual sleep. Wakefulness does not come from your own effort. It comes from staying near me, letting my presence keep you bright, keep you strong, keep you standing firm. Spend time with me, my child. I do not require an elaborate ritual. I simply want a heart that knows how to seek me the way a child seeks their father. I do not want you to treat me as just another task in your day. I want to be the one you run to first when you are joyful, when you are sad, when you are tired, when you are confused. As long as you draw near, as long as you turn your heart toward me, I will fill you with a peace that nothing in this world can give. When you slip away from my presence, the smallest things can exhaust you. But when you are in me, even the storms cannot shake you. Therefore I say to you, do not let this world steal that precious time, the time when I want to speak with you, to heal you, to renew your spirit. Find a quiet place, an early morning stillness, or an empty hour in your day, and simply say, Lord, I'm here. I am always waiting for you. You must also learn to listen. Not the kind of listening that happens with your ears, but a spiritual listening, the kind of listening that can recognize the hints I place in your heart. I am still speaking to you every single day, but my voice is as gentle as the wind, soft as a breath, and only those who know how to pause can hear it. There are moments when I cause a certain person to appear in your thoughts, not for you to ignore, but so that you will pray for them or send them a word of care. There are moments when I place in your heart a strange uneasiness, a lack of peace about something, to warn you to reconsider or to stay away. And there are also times when I make you remember something you need to let go of, not to take anything good away from you, but to give you back your freedom. Listen to these inner stirrings, because behind them is guidance from heaven. My word is the light for every step you take. Without light, you can easily slip onto narrow paths that lead into dark places. But if you allow my word to shine on your way, you will never truly lose your way, no matter how unclear the road ahead may seem. There are stretches of the path you must walk where your emotions cannot help you discern right from wrong. But my word can. There are days when your mind is filled with confusion, but my word brings everything into clarity. Even when you feel at your weakest, my word is still the strength that lifts you up, pulling you out of sorrow, out of doubt, out of the thoughts that try to lower your sense of worth. That is why I want you to treat my word as food, as drink, as breath, something you cannot live without. My beloved child, I am calling you into action. Faith is not merely a feeling. Faith requires steps. I know you are waiting for the time I have promised, but while you wait, there are also things I want you to do. Sometimes you think that only when I answer your prayers should you begin to act, but I want you to understand that there are steps you must take even when you cannot yet see the whole road. When you follow my leading, even in the middle of the waiting, that is when your faith grows. I want you to know that your obedience opens doors to miracles you yourself could never have imagined. When I urge you to call someone, call. When I remind you to send a word of comfort, send it. When I place compassion, forgiveness, or concern in your heart, act on it, because sometimes your small words are what pull a soul back from the very edge. Sometimes your gentle act becomes the very answer someone has been praying for over many months. And sometimes you yourself are healed when you step out to love another person even before you receive what you have been asking for. You cannot see the full impact of each small step you take, but I see it all, and I use every one of those acts to prepare your life for greater things. And when I urge you to let something go, I am not taking away what is precious to you. I am freeing you from what is blocking your growth. There are things you cling to because you think you need them, but I know they are quietly draining your strength. I do not want you bound by things that no longer belong to your journey. I am calling you to release so that you can receive. I want your hands to be free to take hold of the blessings I have prepared for you long before now. Letting go does not make you smaller. It makes you wider, deeper, and more free. When I call you to walk by faith, I am not telling you to jump into chaos or emptiness. I am telling you to step into what I have already arranged before you even recognized it. Do not be afraid when you cannot see what lies ahead. Do not hesitate when you feel everything is beyond your strength. Faith is not about seeing the path. It is about trusting that I hold the path. I will not lead you into a place of harm. I lead you into the places where you need to stand, the places where you will grow, the places where you will become stronger. I will never leave you alone in any step you take. My child, your obedience is the key that unlocks the treasures I have long reserved especially for you. The blessings I have destined for you are not lost, but they will only be opened when you choose to trust me more than your fear, to move forward rather than remain in hesitation, to draw near to me rather than cling to the world. When you obey, the spiritual atmosphere around you shifts. When you obey, the protection over you is strengthened. When you obey, the things that have been shut for so long begin to open. I have gifts, doors, connections, and restorations you have never even imagined, all of them waiting on one thing: your choice to follow me. For you were not created merely to survive, but to walk in the light, in the freedom, and in the purpose I wrote for you before the world was formed. And I, with all my patience, my mercy, and my unchanging love, will continue to lead you, to call you, to draw you, to lift you up until you step fully into what I have prepared for you. You belong to me, and I never stop giving you my very best when you choose to listen and walk according to the call I have placed within your heart. My beloved child, let me speak to you with all the tenderness I have kept for you since the moment you were formed in my heart. There is something very deep, very important, that I want you to open your heart to receive. I do not care only about your body, about the things you are struggling with, or the worries you try to hide in the corners of your eyes. I care about your very heart, about the deepest place in your soul that you rarely allow anyone to touch. I see the things you dare not admit. I understand the parts you try to hide. I feel the wounds you do not even know how to put into words. And I want you to know that my love for you is rooted in your very being, not in how well you perform, not in your successes or failures, and certainly not in whether you are in a season of strength or a season of collapse. You are loved simply because you are, my child. That truth cannot be changed, cannot be erased, cannot be stolen, no matter how many storms you go through in this life. Many times I see your heart waver under the lies the enemy whispers into your mind. It tells you that you are not good enough, that I am disappointed in you, that I have passed you by in search of children more worthy than you. It speaks at the very moment you are weakest, making you believe that my silence is rejection. But my dear one, those words do not come from me. They come from the one who is terrified of seeing you stand in your true identity, stand in the light, stand in the authority I have placed upon your life. It knows that if you realize who you are in me, you will become so firmly rooted that not a single arrow of its attacks can pierce your soul anymore. It knows that when one of my children stands in the right place, they are covered, protected, and surrounded by the power of heaven like a fortress that cannot be breached. That is why it tries so hard to make you forget your true name, to make you lose your spiritual confidence, to make you look at yourself through eyes full of self-condemnation. I want you to look at yourself through my eyes, eyes full of mercy, full of patience, full of affection that nothing in this life can alter. You are my treasure. You are not one of the trivial things I care about in passing. You are what I guard, the one I keep my eye on, the reason I stand in the midst of battles you know nothing about. You think you are fighting alone, but I am protecting you even when you do not see it. 60,000 invisible arrows have already been broken before they could touch you. The disasters you think you just happened to avoid were in fact battles I had already silenced before they came near. You call it luck, but I call it love. Love in the form of protection, of guarding, of the wars I fight on your behalf, so that you will not have to carry things far beyond your strength. Do you remember the signs and wonders I worked for you in those difficult seasons? Those strange coincidences? Those doors that seemed firmly shut and then suddenly swung open? Those times when you thought there was no way forward and then a light flashed before you? That was my voice speaking to you. That was how I drew you closer when you felt you were drifting too far away. I have never left you, not even for a moment. Every sign I gave you was not only to rescue you from a situation, but to remind you, I am here, I see you. I will not give up on you. You thought I was simply solving problems, but in truth, I was addressing the deeper fear in your heart, the fear of being abandoned. And I want you to know that the reason I step into each of your circumstances is so that you can feel how close my breath is to you. My child, I know there are moments when you think your heart is too fragile, too easily wounded, and too covered in scars for me to use. But you forget that I do not choose the strong, I choose the real. I do not choose the perfect, I choose those who dare to come to me in their weakness. Your wounds do not push me away. It is precisely your wounds that draw me nearer. When you feel unworthy, my arms are still outstretched. When you stumble, I still lift you up. When you turn away in shame, I am still there, waiting for you to return. I did not choose you to abandon you halfway. I chose you to walk with you, to build you up, to pull you out of the spiritual chains you have carried for far too long. The enemy wants you to believe that you are alone, but the truth is that I have positioned the armies of heaven around you far more than you realize. No weapon forged against you will succeed, not because you are stronger than it, but because I am standing between you and every attack aimed at you. All of hell may rise up against you, but as long as I stand by your side, it cannot touch your soul. I am the one who covers you. I am the one who holds you in hands that never tremble. I am the one who keeps your story under the shadow of my wings, and nothing can steal it away. Every step you take today is written by my love, marked by my faithfulness, and guarded by my presence. You may forget that when you grow weary, but I never forget. You may feel lost, but I have never lost sight of you. You may think you have disappointed me, but I have never stopped loving you, not even for a second. You do not have to race to hold on to my love. My love pursues you even when you try to run from it. You belong to me, and this belonging is stronger than every accusation, every attack, every doubt, every distraction, and every wound you have ever carried on your shoulders. I want you to etch this deep into your heart. Your identity is what the enemy fears most. It does not fear you when you are strong. It fears you when you know who you are in me. Because when you realize you are my child, you will no longer tremble at negative voices. You will no longer be so easily controlled by fear. You will no longer be thrown into confusion by sudden changes. You will stand firm, not by your own strength, but by the power of the one who has conquered death and hell. You will know that you are not fighting in order to be loved, but fighting from the love that has already been placed over your life. I love you more than you can imagine. Not with a temporary love, not with a love that depends on feelings, not with a love that shifts with circumstances. The love I have for you is the very foundation upon which heaven was formed, the source of every protection over you, the reason why I always stand between you and disaster. The signs and wonders of yesterday were not only to resolve yesterday's problems, they were my voice, declaring that my love for you does not fade, does not weaken, does not shake. They are the evidence that you have never been alone, never been forgotten, never been abandoned. They are proof that even when human doors slam shut, my door remains wide open. My child, let your heart find rest in this truth. You are not walking through this life in isolation. I am here. I am fighting for you. I am guarding you. I am upholding you. I am making a way for you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. And when you belong to me, nothing in heaven or on earth can separate you from the love I have for you. Walk forward with a peace that does not come from your own strength, but from the certainty that you are held in the arms of the one who has never and will never let you go. You are mine, and that will always remain an eternal truth. My beloved child, do not let anything cause your heart to close itself off to what I am whispering. There are times when I do not speak with thunder. I choose to speak through very gentle movements in your spirit, through things that at first glance seem ordinary yet carry life and truth. You often think that if I want to warn you, I must do something obvious and dramatic, but I am wise, and I know that it is the tender signs that reach the pluckest, deepest places in you, the places no voice of this world has ever touched. When I place subtle ripples before you, a slight stirring inside, an image that suddenly touches your heart, a nameless word that rises in your soul, that is when I am taking your hand and drawing you back, not to scold you, but to keep you from slipping off the path I have carefully prepared for you, step by step, long before you saw the light of this life. You think those signals are fleeting feelings, but in the spiritual realm, nothing is fleeting when it comes from me. I never speak anything unnecessary. I never send a reminder just to fill the silence. Every word I send, every soft sign I plant in your heart is part of a larger picture of the journey and destiny I have ordained for your life. My child, I know there are times when your heart is full of conflicting thoughts, when you ask yourself, was that from God or just my imagination? I know you fear being mistaken, but what I want you to understand is this: confusion is not as dangerous as no longer seeking. When you open your heart to receive, I will help you discern. When you truly want to hear me, you will find that what I send cannot be mistaken for any other voice, because it carries a peace that the world cannot give, a light that only I can provide, and a pull that draws you nearer so you know deep within, this is the voice of my Father. Do not underestimate those inner stirrings, for they are my way of pouring guidance into your life, little by little. I do not want you to live by guesswork. I want you to live by true knowing. And that knowing comes when you clear your heart of confusion, when you dare to let me touch the deepest corners you have kept hidden for fear of being hurt. I am the Lord your God, the one who sees even what you dare not face, the one who knows every fleeting thought in your heart before you can give it a name. I do not stand far off, watching you struggle through this life alone. I am with you in every breath, every step, every sleepless night, every weary day when you feel you cannot go on. You cannot perceive me with your natural eyes, yet I am very near, so near that if you would pause for just a moment, you would sense the breath of my peace resting over your soul. I am the one who never turns his back on you, even in the seasons when you walked away from me, forgot me, or doubted me. My heart has never changed. My love has never grown tired. My mercy has never diminished. I am still here, and I will always be here. There has not been a single moment in your life when I was not covering you with my providence. When you are weak, I do not leave you to stand on your own. When you are exhausted, I do not demand that you be strong at once. I know there are times when your body is drained, your mind is tangled, your emotions feel like they are falling with nothing to hold on to. I do not blame you for that. I do not require you to be unbreakable. I come to lift you up, to renew your strength, to pour oil on the places where you hurt, to comfort the parts of you that are trembling. I wrap my righteous right arm around you, not to make you immune to hardship, but to assure you that no matter how great the difficulty, you will never have to face it alone. I am the one who steadies you when your steps falter, the one who covers you when you have no strength left, and the one who carries you when your heart has nowhere to cling but to me. Do not be afraid of what lies ahead. I know these things can make you anxious. I see the questions you keep inside, the things that make you hesitate, the fears you do not dare to speak out loud. But I am already going ahead of you. I am preparing the way. I am tearing down every snare laid for you in the shadows. I am pushing back the things that would harm you before they can ever reach you. You see only the present, but I see tomorrow. You see only what is near, but I see what is far. I know what is enough for you to grow, what will wound you, what needs to be taken away, and what needs to remain. You do not need to control everything by yourself. You only need to keep your hand in mine, and you will never step into any place where my love has not gone before you. Do not let fear or doubt take root in your heart. They are like bad seeds. The longer they stay, the deeper they grow, and the deeper they grow, the heavier they make your heart. I did not create you to live in fear. I do not want you to live in confusion about the future. I am faithful in every word I speak. I am good in everything I do. I am your Father in every season of your life, whether you are standing on the mountaintop or walking through the darkest valley. Nothing can make me leave you. Nothing can make me change my heart toward you. Nothing can ever cause my love for you to lessen, not even a little. Trust me, my beloved. Not a reluctant trust, not a trust born of fear, not a trust born of pressure. Trust, because you know that I have proven my faithfulness from the very beginning. Trust, because you know I have held your hand through the moments when you thought you could not go on living. Trust, because you have tasted the gentle goodness I pour out every morning, the protection I place over your head each night, the peace I set within your heart in the moments you are weakest. Trust, because I am your Father, not a father in name only, but a father in nature, in love, in the covering I have placed over your life like a garment that never grows old. I love you more than you can think, more than you can imagine, more than you could ever dare to ask for. My love is not based on performance. It does not depend on your perfection. It does not decrease when you stumble, and it does not increase when you succeed. My love is an unchanging love, always higher than what you feel, always deeper than what you understand, always wider than every failure and every limitation inside you. I love you, out of who I am, and that very nature never changes. Therefore, my child, open your eyes, open your heart, open your spirit to receive what I am sending. I do not only want you to notice the signs, I want you to walk in the light of them, so that you will not only avoid danger but also step into the new things I have prepared. I want your life to become a living testimony that whoever listens to my voice will never lose their way. Whoever trusts in me will never be put to shame. Whoever lets me lead them will never lack a path to walk in. You are my joy, and I will continue to lead you, watch over you, protect you, and love you until you see in full the things I have written for your life from the very beginning. Step forward, for I am going before you. Be at peace, for I am standing beside you. Be strong, for I am covering you with my own mighty arm. You are never alone, you never have been, and you never will be. My beloved child, today I am bending close to speak to you with a gentle voice that echoes all the way to the depths of your soul, because I know your heart has grown so weary under the thick noise of this world. I know there are so many things running through your mind, unfinished plans, worries about the future, fears that cannot even be named, and longings you do not know where to place. That is why I am calling you, why I am whispering again and again, why I am sending signs, stirrings, and ripples in your heart, all to gently turn your steps before you wander too far down dangerous paths. I want you to pause a little, pay attention, look deeper, and realize that I am speaking to you not through what is dramatic, but through movements so subtle that you can only notice them when your heart grows quiet and tilts toward me, even just a little. I do not want you to be swept away by what is dazzling on the surface, by what fascinates your eyes, yet wears your soul out, because if you let yourself be pulled away from my stillness, you will easily lose the sharpness of spirit I placed within you from the very beginning. Do you know that every sign I send carries its own rhythm, its own purpose, a thread of perfect connection within a path your eyes have never seen? There is not a single feeling of unrest that appears by accident. There is not a single strange situation that comes to you at random. There is not a single inner prompting that is meaningless or passing. All of it is within, my arrangement to stir you, to bring you back to the right direction, to remind you of the things you have unintentionally ignored. I see you learning how to walk, but sometimes your steps falter because of things so small you do not take them seriously, so I must place signs before you to pull you back to what truly matters. I do not send signs in a confusing way. I send them in ways that fit your heart, your personality, the season you are going through. Each sign is woven by me like a golden thread into your destiny, not excessive, not late, not tangled, but always at the right time and in the right place. My child, I see your silent struggles. You think no one understands the tears you hide, but I see every tear, every trembling in your heart. I feel the nights when you lie still and say nothing, the days when you smile at everyone, while your heart feels as though it is carrying a whole gray sky. I know you have tried to find me in those moments, but the noise of the world often pulls your heart down, making you think that I do not hear. But I hear everything. I do not only hear, I also see all the things you do not know how to put into words. I know every worry inside you, every fear no one understands, every pressure that makes you want to let go. I am not standing far away just watching. I stand so close that if you would only lean your heart a little, you would find that I am right there with all my patience and love. Yet because you live in a world full of distraction, you easily lose the focus that was, originally, a gift from me. Distraction does not come only from trivial things. It touches your soul, pulling you away from me with thoughts that seem harmless. Every time you are swept up in petty things, you lose a little more of the inner space that belongs to me. And when that happens again and again, you begin to lose the ability to discern which voice is mine, which is the world's, which is human, and which belongs to the enemy, whispering to steal your peace. I see this, and it pains me, but I do not condemn you. I only see that I must speak to you more clearly, more closely, more strongly, before all the other sounds drown out my voice within your soul. My beloved child, I want you to know that I am speaking to you right now, not in anger. I have never lost my temper with you because of your slowness to understand or your hesitation. I speak with a mature love, a love that knows exactly where you are, knows what you need, knows where you are weak, and knows precisely what you can become if you are willing to listen to my voice. I do not speak to force you. I speak to rescue you from the very things you cannot see. I warn you not to frighten you, but so that you will not have to regret like those of long ago, those who thought my signs were vague, mere coincidence, or fleeting emotion. But when they finally realized, it was already too late, for they had walked too far from where I longed to keep them. I do not want you to be like them. I want you to become someone who recognizes a sign the moment it appears, someone who knows when to stop, when to turn, when to leave behind the things I no longer want you entangled in. I want you to become someone who sees what I see, hears what I hear, and understands what I am doing. And because I love you more than you know how to love yourself, I will not allow any of my signs to be meaningless to you. I will continue to place these signs along your path, in your sleep, in your thoughts, in sudden unrest, in unexpected peace, in the seemingly casual words of another, in the book you read, in the song you hear, in the glance of a stranger. I will use every way to reach you, because each sign carries a single purpose, to lead you into life, into freedom, into healing, into maturity. My child, I have watched too many people lose their destiny simply because they treated lightly the very first signs I sent them. They thought they were just being a little careless. They thought they just needed to wait a bit longer. But the small indifference of today is the seed of tomorrow's regret. I do not want you to come to that point. You were created to walk in my light, not to fumble in the shadows of uncertainty. I have woven your future with threads of radiant beauty. Every connection has been carefully arranged. Every detail rests in my all-knowing hand. And every sign I send is not only to show you the way, but to keep you from drifting away from the path. I have ordained for you a path that carries the potential to impact many people you do not yet know. I want you to understand deeply that the things you consider small matters are sometimes the door that opens into an entirely new chapter of your spiritual life. A very gentle prompting can be a call to step into a new season. A discomfort in your heart can be my way of telling you to move away from what does not belong to you. A sudden peace can be my confirmation that I am leading you to the right place. You only need to pay attention. You only need to be attentive. You only need to pause for a few seconds to ask me. If you are willing to do that, I will open your eyes to see what you never noticed before. I will open your ears to hear what you once thought was only the sound of the wind. I will open your heart to receive the guidance you used to dismiss as mere passing emotion. For I love you not with empty words, but with a care that reaches into the smallest details of your life. I love you so much that I cannot simply stand by and watch you unintentionally miss what is important. I love you so much that I will not allow the enemy to steal your focus away from me for too long. I love you so much that I keep bringing you back to the truth, even when you are tired, when you want to give up, when you feel you have no strength left to take another step. And I love you enough to speak very clearly to you today. Pay attention, because your attention today does more than keep your soul from getting lost. It opens for you the door into the very purpose of your life, the purpose I have cherished in my heart since before you were formed. My beloved child, I speak to you with the whole heart of a father who does not want to lose you to any other power. I speak not to teach you fear, but to keep you inside my unchanging love. I speak not to make you feel inadequate, but so that you will know you are chosen, protected, and upheld. I speak because every part of you is precious to me. Your thoughts, your emotions, every step you take on this earth. And I am speaking today, in this very moment, with the deepest longing that you will no longer overlook a single sign, because every sign I send is one more way I am saying to you, I love you, I am here, I am leading you, and I will never leave you. My beloved child, listen deeply to what I want to place in your heart right now, for this is not just a continuation of what I have already revealed, but a fresh breath from heaven meant specifically for you, a breath to awaken, to open your eyes, to soften your heart, and help you see more clearly what is moving around you every day. You often think that to hear my voice you need something extraordinary, a shaking moment, a strange sign beyond human understanding. But I, the one who created the heavens and the earth, the one who calls each star by name, I am not confined to the grand or the spectacular, as you often imagine. I delight to come to you in gentleness, through things so simple that only those who are awake in spirit will recognize them. I am not far away, I am not silent. I am threading myself through every beat of your daily life, so gently that, if your spirit has not been trained, you will treat my words as meaningless coincidences. Let me explain this to you more clearly. In an age where everything turns faster than a breath, sometimes I must choose the most familiar paths to enter your inner world. You are living amid noise, surrounded by streams of information running without rest, surrounded by influences that scatter your mind more than you realize. That is why I not only speak through my word or through servants I send, but I also make use of the very things you touch every day, things you assume have no spiritual value to reach for your heart. A song that suddenly makes you fall silent in the middle of a crowd is not random. A short video that unexpectedly brings tears to your eyes is not a coincidence. A line of text that appears just when you think you are giving up is not an accident. I am not limited by any medium. I am the one who made a burning bush blaze without burning out, the one who used a donkey to speak to a man who had lost his way, the one who turned the sound of the wind into a warning for the prophets. So why do you think I cannot use a phone, the device resting in the palm of your hand every day to touch your soul? But I need you to understand something very deeply. What determines everything is not the medium I use, but the sensitivity of your heart. A heart that has not been trained will dismiss signs as noise. A weary spirit will overlook gentle calls. A mind drowned in worries will not discern what is merely human echo and what is my quiet whisper. Do you know why I send so many signs? Because I see every turn you could take. I know exactly what will exhaust you, what will wound you, what will steal the peace I have given you. I do not teach you to be. I teach you to be awake. I do not want you to sink into doubt. I want you to know that I always go one step ahead, keeping your feet from cliffs you cannot see. As the days pass, I watch you racing with life, leaving yourself no stillness to hear me. I see you waking up in a hurry, working under pressure, facing an endless tangle of thoughts, listening to so many voices that mind becomes faint inside you. But, my child, what is gentle is never weak. It is precisely in the gentle things that the power to transform your spiritual life is hidden. I speak in the wind, not in the storm. I come in a whisper, not in the thunder. I do not want to force your heart. I want it to open freely, for that is what true love is. And to help you open your heart, I use what is familiar, the moments when you are off guard, the most ordinary fragments of your day, so that I can step in without frightening you or making you draw back. But you must remind yourself every day that this world is full of voices competing with mine. There are calls that lure you away from me with a false sweetness. There are images that send your mind astray. There are thoughts that make you question the value I have placed inside you. If you do not train your mind to recognize what comes from me, you will confuse the true with the false. Silence is not always peace, and noise is not always danger. I want you to discern. Only when you form the habit of looking beneath the surface will you see that there are things I have sent to redirect you away from the traps the enemy has set up so cleverly. When you sense a strange urging in your heart, even for a brief moment, do not treat it lightly. When you hear a seemingly ordinary sentence that stirs you deeply, do not brush it off. When you feel you should pause for a moment to breathe, or refrain from a careless word, or step away from a conversation that leaves your spirit uneasy, all of these are signals I have placed within you. They are not the voice of fleeting emotion. They are my guidance for those who know how to listen. I'm calling you out of vagueness and into a place of clear awareness, where everything I teach becomes a lamp to your feet. Look back at the times you unintentionally ignored those signals. Did your heart not grow more tangled afterward? Did you not feel tired for no clear reason? Did you not walk into situations that wounded you, even though I had already warned you? You think you merely ran into trouble. I see that you passed by the signposts I had set right in front of you. I did not put them there to restrict you. I put them there to keep you on the path of life. There are dreams that make your heart tighten, dreams that are not random at all. There are encounters that seem unrelated, yet are in fact orchestrated, so that you may come to recognize your true self. There are unexpected incidents that force you to change direction, yet they are precisely what I use to keep you from something far worse. I do not want you to live in confusion. I want you to know that on every step you take, there is a trace of my hand. Just because you do not recognize it does not mean I am not working. But above all, this is what I long for. I want your heart to become tender so that you can recognize me, even when I speak through the smallest of things. I want you to walk in a new awareness, an awareness that causes you not only to hear with physical ears, but to listen with your very soul. For only when you hear with your soul will you begin to see that what I send you is not only about today, but about the spiritual future you carry, the calling I am building in you, and the influence I am preparing to entrust to you. You were created to carry light, and the signs I send are the small flames I use to keep that light from going out. My dear child, slow your steps so you can hear me. Pause for a moment so you can recognize me. Open your eyes to see the imprint of my hand in the things you once considered ordinary. For when you can discern me in the smallest things, you will never miss me in the great things I am preparing. My beloved child, the enemy is never lazy when it targets your soul. It knows that if it can keep you confused long enough, deeply distracted, and entangled in the trivialities of life, you will no longer see the signals I am placing before your eyes. It does not need to strike you with violent storms. It only has to fill your heart with busyness, with noise, with anxiety, and your spiritual eyes will slowly close without you even realizing it. It understands very well that if one day you recognize the warnings I send, if you truly become aware of the direction of my call, if you understand that I am clearing a path for you to walk, then its hand will have no power over you anymore. That is why it sows doubt into your heart, plants unanswered questions in your mind, and fills your days with things that wear you out until you forget to lift your eyes to heaven. It wants you to believe that everything happening is merely natural, that your chaotic emotions are nothing more than pressure, that your weariness is only because of circumstances. But I see clearly how it is working in the dark, creating thick layers of fog so that you can no longer distinguish my voice from the voice of the world. It uses confusion to make you think you no longer have time for me. It uses busyness to push me to the bottom of your list. It uses uncomfortable silences to persuade you that I am far from you. And when you believe that lie, you stop seeking me. That is exactly what it wants. But my beloved child, the enemy is only strong in the dark, while my spirit in you is a light that never goes out. His power is greater than every strategy of the adversary. You are not standing naked in this battle. You carry my very presence within your soul. My spirit does not only calm you, he teaches you to discern what comes from me and what does not. He does not merely remind you, he opens your eyes. He does not only give you peace, he equips you with inner strength so that you are not dragged along by the whirlwinds of emotion the enemy stirs up. Do you know why the enemy has to resort to schemes instead of confronting you head-on? Because it knows that those who carry my spirit are beyond its control. It knows that if you would only stand still for a moment, if you would only turn your heart toward me for an instant, if you would only quiet yourself and look back, you would recognize the deceptions it has constructed. It knows that if you would simply switch off the noise and return to me, in just a few seconds, truth would shatter every layer of fog, and you would see far more clearly the signs I am scattering along your path. You are not lacking in discernment. I place the ability to distinguish within you from the moment you opened your heart to me. You are not lacking in guidance. I have sent my very spirit to dwell in you. You are not lacking in equipping. I have prepared for you everything you need to walk in the light. My word, the wisdom I give, and the gentle warnings I leave in your spirit each day. You only need to be still long enough to hear what I am saying. You only need to seek me with a sincere, unhurried heart. You only need to ask me for wisdom, and I will take care of the rest. My child, remember this. You do not walk according to the swiftness of your emotions, but according to the leading of my spirit. When your heart is in turmoil, stop. When your mind is crowded, withdraw to a quiet place. When fear approaches, say, Lord, please show me what belongs to you. When you do this, the enemy's power will fade like a shadow in the light. You will see what you once thought you could never discern. You will notice the signs you used to dismiss as coincidence. You will perceive my love and my protection more clearly than ever before. My spirit within you is not only the comforter, he is the one who illuminates, who shows the way, who breaks the lies that are trying to hold you back. He helps you recognize when a thought does not come from me, when a feeling is not of my making, when an event is a warning from heaven rather than ordinary disturbance. And as you walk in that discernment, you will walk in victory, not a victory of your own willpower, but the victory I have already written for your life before you were formed. My child, be at peace and remember that I have given you everything you need so that you will not be led astray by the noise of this world. I have placed light within you. I have placed discernment within you. I have placed in you the ability to walk in truth. You only need to seek me with all your heart, and every strategy of darkness will become useless before the power I am working within you. If you will only look up, you will see me. If you will only be still, you will hear me. If you will only ask, I will give you wisdom that surpasses every scheme of the enemy. You are not alone. My Spirit is in you, and He is greater than anything that tries to make you afraid. If you will only let me lead you, you will realize that the enemy has never truly had a chance to hold you back, for you belong to me, and I have never left you for even a single moment. My beloved child, you often come before me with a sincere heart, asking for guidance, asking me to make a way, to grant you clarity so you may choose what is right at the uncertain crossroads. I hear every word, I see every tear, I feel every weary breath within you when you say, Lord, please show me the way I should go. But there is something you need to understand. Guidance does not come only from your asking, but also from your ability to listen and your willingness to follow when I speak. There are things I say very gently, paths I open very quietly, signs I send that only a sensitive heart will notice. It is not because I want to make things difficult for you, but because spiritual maturity does not come merely from hearing. It comes from hearing and then obeying. My part is to show the way. Your part is to choose to walk in it. I cannot take the steps in your place, for if I did, you would never learn how to grow in faith, how to stand firm in the wind, how to trust me, even when the night seems to cover everything. You often want me to give you instructions that are very clear, very specific, very easy to understand. Yet there are times when I lead you not by a brightly lit road, but by small rays of light shining one segment at a time. This is how I train you to trust, to place your hand in mine and take a step even when you cannot see the whole path. You tend to think that the guidance I give must look reasonable, must be easy to grasp, must make you feel comfortable, but I do not operate according to human logic. I act according to my eternal wisdom. There are paths you consider unreasonable, yet to me they are the shortest way into what is truly good for you. There are doors you do not want to open because you think you are not ready, but I know that if you will only step through, your whole future will be changed. I do not want you to live by calculation. I want you to live by faith, the kind of faith that is not dependent on circumstances, not based on feelings, and not confined by the safety you are used to. Remember Abraham. He was not someone who saw the future before he dared to move. He was not someone who waited for a detailed map before deciding to go forward. He only heard one word from me. Go to the land that I will show you. No place name, no clear direction, no guarantees about safety or living conditions. Only one thing. I spoke, and he obeyed. He left his homeland, left his relatives, left everything he once believed made him secure, simply because he trusted me enough to step into what he had never known before. And do you know this? That very obedience opened the way for a great covenant, a covenant that even today continues to flow from generation to generation. It was not just a single act, it was a yes that has echoed through thousands of years. A simple response, yet full of power, that changed the course of human history. Think more deeply about this. The obedience of one man opened the way for blessing over an entire people. I did not love Abraham more than others, but he was the one who listened and responded when I spoke. What I did through his life was not because he was perfect, but because he was willing. And I say this so you will understand that your obedience carries the same spiritual weight. When you hear and follow a sign that I send, you do not only open blessing for yourself, but also for those who will come after you. You do not know how many generations will be touched simply because today you say, I believe, I will step forward. One decision in line with my will does not only touch your present, it reaches into the future of people have never met. Every step you take with me carries an influence that stretches far beyond your own lifetime. My beloved child, do not think that obedience is merely a way for you to receive what you want. Obedience is how you open the way for me to fulfill what I purposed long before you were formed. You were not born just to survive. You were born to bring a portion of heaven down to earth. And that only happens when you choose to trust me more than you trust yourself, to trust my voice more than what your eyes can see. You cannot see everything, so you think you cannot move. But I see all, I know all, and I hold your future completely in my hands. I am not leading you into danger. I am leading you to where you truly belong, to the place where calling, purpose, and blessing are waiting for you. The guidance I give you is never meaningless. Every word I whisper, every gentle stirring in your heart, every door I open, everything I cause you to stop, all of it exists to keep you on the path I have already prepared. I do not want you to go too far ahead, nor do I want you to lag behind. I want you to walk in step with me, the rhythm of peace, of trust, of surrender. There are days when I lead you little by little, days when I urge you to move quickly, and days when I tell you to stand still. No matter how it feels to you, the only thing I want you to remember is this: I have never once left you to fend for yourself. You often ask me to show you the way, yet many times I already have, and you still want to hear more, see more clearly, be more certain. You want a guarantee that you will not make a wrong move. But my child, faith does not work that way. Faith does not wait for certainty before it moves. Faith moves first, and assurance comes after. Faith does not wait for a door to stand wide open. Faith places its hand on the handle and turns it, believing that what I open will never harm you. When you only follow what makes you comfortable, that is not faith, that is merely familiarity. I have not called you to familiarity, I have called you to glory. Do not forget that the signs I send you are not as trivial or easy to dismiss as you once thought. They are the pieces of the puzzle of your destiny. If Abraham had ignored the sign I gave him, the blessing would not have flowed through him. If Moses had ignored the call from the burning bush, millions would not have been delivered. If Elijah had ignored my voice, the generations of prophets that followed would never have been raised up. A small sign can be the starting point of something immense. Do not take lightly anything I place in your heart, no matter how small it seems, no matter if you think it is only a passing feeling. I am speaking, I am leading, I am calling, and the greatest blessings are often unlocked by acts of obedience that appear very small. My dear child, I am calling you into a life in which you know how to listen, how to trust, and how to walk forward even when you cannot see the whole journey. This is how you step into breakthrough, into your calling, into the fullness I have already written for you. I have prepared wonders that your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard, and your heart has not yet even imagined. But for you to touch them, you must dare to set your feet on the path I show you, even when it does not look like the path you expected. Trust me, follow me, for when you obey, heaven opens. When you obey, destiny is set in motion. When you obey, blessings pour out not only over your life but over the lives of those who come after you. And I say this to you with all the love of a father: you will never regret obeying me, but you may regret it if, because of fear, you miss what I long to do. Let faith lead the way. Let obedience open the door. Let me take you to the place where only those who believe can enter. You were created for more than this. You were called to go deeper than this. And I am still here, waiting for your nod so that I can bring you into what I have prepared since the very beginning. You need only say, Lord, I believe. Even when I do not see, I still believe. and I will do the rest. My beloved child, let me speak to you slowly and clearly, like a father placing his hands on your shoulders and looking straight into your eyes, so that you do not miss a single word I am about to say. There are times when I send you signs not to soothe you, but to warn you, to shake you out of spiritual slumber, to keep you from stepping into places where, if you kept going just a little further, you would be wounded more deeply than you realize. I do not warn you with noise. I do not shout. I simply place before you gentle yet piercing signals, tiny movements in your spirit which, if you are awake, you will recognize as my hand pulling you back from the edge. And yet, sometimes, because you are too busy, too tired, too accustomed to the noise, you treat those signs as petty emotions, passing, thoughts not worth your attention. But my child, some things you call small are, in heaven's eyes, the very gates of life for you. Remember Lot and his family. I did not leave them to fend for themselves in the dark night of Sodom. I sent 2 angels, not hidden in anonymity, but with a clear purpose, to warn them and lead them out of destruction. But have you noticed that Lot did not recognize it immediately? He hesitated, he delayed, and his family lingered, clinging to what was familiar, things that seemed harmless, but were actually tying them to a place of death. If I had not taken them by the hand, had not urged them, had not pulled them out, they would never have escaped. You are the same. You too have stood many times at a boundary you yourself did not see, and I have had to tug at your heart, pull you away from a conversation, stop you from a decision, cause you to pause in the middle of emotions that seemed so harmless. That was not coincidence. That was my angel standing in the road of your life. I know there are times when you do not understand why I close a door, why I allow a relationship to fall apart, why I cut off a path you thought would lead you to peace. But you do not see the rest of the picture, that I have blocked you from a Sodom in your own life, a place where seemingly small things could kill the spiritual life within you. I do not only protect your body, I guard your soul. I guard the promise I planted in you. I guard the calling you do not yet fully see. So when I set signs before you, do not treat them as vague hints. They are the rope I throw down to pull you out of the rushing waters. They are the lights I place in the fog so you do not lose your way. They are the reminders that call you to turn back, even when you cannot yet see what waits for you in the dark. My child, I speak to you with a love as deep as the ocean. Do not take lightly the signs I send. There are times I give you an uneasiness about something that seems ordinary, not to make you anxious, but to signal that something there does not belong to you. There are times I cause a verse of scripture to suddenly shine brightly in your mind, not to decorate your spiritual life, but to guide you away from a wrong decision. There are times I let someone speak a seemingly random word that strikes the deepest place in your heart. That is when I am redirecting your steps. I do all these things not because I want to control you, but because I want to keep you alive, truly alive, rightly aligned, and fully alive in what I have prepared. Listen to my voice. Listen not only with your ears, but with your soul. When you grow quiet, you will hear things that a whole lifetime of busyness could never whisper to you. When you slow your steps, you will see that I am walking ahead of you, not behind you. When you stop fighting in your own strength, you will see that I am raising my hand to shield you from things you thought you had to face alone. Do not think that I only speak through dreams or through spectacular signs. I speak through very ordinary things, through an unusual weariness, through an unexpected encounter, through a lack of peace when you are about to do something. I speak every day, but only hearts that are still and quiet can sense me. My child, walk in obedience. Obedience is not heavy, not a burden, not a cage. Obedience is you placing your hand in mine and letting me lead you through places your eyes have not seen, but which I have seen long ago. Obedience is choosing what I say over what you want. Obedience is trusting me even when you do not yet understand. And when you live in obedience, you will see wonders unfold before your eyes, doors you could never open by yourself, interventions you could never arrange, miracles that happen not because you deserve them, but because you dared to follow me. For I am the Lord your God. I am not a distant God watching you from afar. I am your Father, the one who formed you with my own hands, the one who knows every breath you take, the one who knows why you cry even before your tears fall. I love you with an unconditional love, a steadfast love, a love that never grows weary. I love you enough to say things that make you stop, enough to pull you out of danger even when you do not want to leave, enough to place signs on your path even when you do not recognize them. I love you too much to stand by and watch you walk into darkness without warning, without leading, without covering you. My child, take seriously the signs I send. They are never random. They are never unnecessary. They are the evidence that I am walking with you not only on the days you feel strong, but especially on the days you feel weak. I speak through signs because sometimes you are not yet ready to hear a direct warning. I speak through silence because sometimes you need to learn to recognize me by faith and not by feelings. I speak through the events of your life because sometimes you need something strong enough to stop you and make you look into my eyes. And my child, if you hear only one thing from these words, hear this. Every sign I send you is a word of love wrapped in a warning. I do not warn you to frighten you. I warn you so that you may live. I do not pull you out of danger because you are weak. I pull you out because you are precious. I do all of this because I am the Lord, and you are my beloved child. I will not stop warning. I will not stop leading. I will not stop protecting. I will not stop loving you whether you hear me or not, whether you respond or not. But I long for you to listen, because your very life is hidden in the signs I send, and your future is held in the hand I am stretching out to welcome you back home. My beloved child, let me open your understanding more deeply to what is hidden within the story you just mentioned, so that my words do not only touch your mind, but slip all the way down into the deepest places of your soul. Lot's wife did not look back merely because she missed a city. She looked back because her heart was still tied to the very things I had called her to release. She could not detach herself from what was familiar, and she lacked the courage to step into the new thing I had prepared. That backward glance was not only an action, it was the picture of a heart that did not fully trust me, a heart that still believed there was something behind her worth, clinging to more than the promises I had set before her. My dear child, how many times in your spiritual life have you stood at that very crossroads, the place where I am calling you forward, yet regret and attachment are pulling you back? I see in your heart the hesitation, the trembling of old things you are afraid to lose, a familiar feeling, a person who once felt close, an old desire, or even wounds you have carried so long that they seem to have become part of your very identity. I see every moment in which you ask yourself, if I let go, what will I have left? But my child, do you not know that everything I ask you to step away from carries a danger you have not yet seen? I do not remove what is good from your life. I remove what is blocking you from seeing what is better. When I call you to move forward, it is not because there is absolutely nothing beautiful behind you. It is because ahead of you there is life for your soul. The backward glance is the look that clings and holds on. The step forward is the step of faith. I know that is hard for you. I know you have lived with your old burdens so long that they have become normal to you. But I did not create you for a normal life. I have placed in you a purpose that far surpasses anything you have imagined about yourself. That is why, when I send you a sign, a warning dream, a restlessness in your heart, a circumstance that forces you to stop, a verse of scripture that suddenly comes alive at just the right moment, I am protecting you from what you have not yet seen. You often fear that if you move too quickly, you will miss what I want to say. But in truth, the greater danger is when you stand still too long, when you cling to what I have already brought to an end. You find yourself stuck, not because I have not opened a door, but because your hand is still gripping the handle of the old one. I love you so deeply that I cannot remain silent while you are standing at the edge of a wrong choice. My love is not a love that simply watches. My love is a love that steps in, that intervenes, that shields you from what could destroy you. But I need your cooperation. I need you to trust me enough to let go, to trust me enough to take the next step, to trust me enough to open your heart to what I am leading you into. I see the tears you have shed when I have taken something out of your life. You think I did it to hurt you, but I did it because I saw ahead what you could not even begin to imagine. I know you cannot see the whole picture when your present moment is only a small piece, a hidden corner of it. That is why I say to you, trust me when you do not understand me. It is not because I need to prove myself, but because I know you will not walk in the right path if you rely only on your limited sight. And my child, I want to tell you about Gideon, the man who, when I called him, saw himself as small, weak, and unworthy of being used. When I told Gideon he would deliver his people, he could not see any strength in himself. He saw only limitation, only lack, only that his family was the poorest in the tribe and that he was the least in his father's house. Do you recognize yourself in him? Many times when I speak a calling over you, you fix your eyes on your weaknesses, on your failures, on the things you think you will never overcome. In your heart you say, Lord, I am not enough, but I have never chosen you because you are enough. I choose you because I am enough. Gideon doubted, but I did not rebuke him. Instead, I gave him signs not to indulge his frailty, but to strengthen the shaky legs of his faith. I caused the fleece to be drenched with dew while the ground remained dry, and then the next time the ground was soaked while the fleece stayed dry. I did this so that Gideon would know that I am not only the one who commands, I am the one who accompanies. I do not just say, go, I say, I will go with you. And I do that with a heart full of love. It is the same with you. When you doubt yourself, I do not turn away. When you are afraid, I do not withdraw. When you are weak, I do not demand that you suddenly become strong. I draw near. I send you signs. I speak in ways you can understand. I use ordinary things in your everyday life to speak to you about the extraordinary things that are waiting ahead. I do not grow weary of strengthening your faith. I am not disappointed when you ask me again. I am not irritated when you are slow to understand. My love is more patient than all your doubts, but you must allow me to lead you. You must allow your heart to soften. You must stop holding on to what I have already called you to leave behind. You must believe that I never open a new door while you remain chained to an old one. I want you to walk in obedience, not in fear. When I send a sign, it is not only a warning, it is also a reminder that you are not alone. I am walking with you. I am guiding you. I am fighting on your behalf in realms you cannot see. And the more sensitive you become to the signs I send, the more you will avoid the traps the enemy has quietly set along your path. My child, I know what I am calling you into may be hard. I know there is much you must let go of, many things you have to leave behind. But remember this, you are not stepping into a void, you are stepping into my arms. When I say, do not look back, it is not a cold command. It is the voice of a father who sees the pit behind you and the light before you. I want to lead you to the place where you can truly live free, strong, and full of the anointing I have already prepared for you. So receive the signs I give you, not with suspicion, but with gratitude. They are not meant to bind you, but to set you free. They are not meant to make you afraid, but to keep you from walking blindly. They are my hands reaching out in the dark so you will know which way is safe. They are my light in the night, so you will not lose your way. They are my call to you, so that your heart is not swallowed up by doubt or regret. And my beloved child, as you learn to obey these signs, you will not only be protected, you will step into the destiny I wrote for you in love before the foundations of the world. You will find that you are not only stepping away from danger, but stepping onto a path lit by grace, by guidance, by the very power I have long prepared for you. You need only do one thing: trust me more than you trust what you are leaving behind. You belong to me, and there is no path I open for you that leads to your destruction. Walk on, my child, for ahead of you is life. My dearly loved child, I know there are empty places in your heart that no human word can fill. I see the evenings when you lie with your head on your arm, wrestling with thoughts you do not know how to share with anyone. I hear the questions you whisper in the silence, questions that tremble and break as they rise. Lord, are you still there? Do you still hear me? Do you still see me? You are afraid that I have gone far away, afraid that you are only speaking into nothingness, afraid that your prayers are dissolving into the dark, never reaching anyone at all. But my child, never once have I turned my ear away from you. Never once have I allowed your voice to become a stray, forgotten sound. In the very moments when you think I am the most silent, I am standing the closest to you. And that is why I send you signs, not to make you curious, not to make you anxious, but to comfort your heart, to remind your soul that you have a Father in heaven who never takes his eyes off you. Do not treat these signs as a passing breeze. Do not think they are just random coincidences among the thousands of things that happen in life. What I send into your life never appears without meaning. They are like love letters I place into your hands, like slips of paper fallen from heaven into your confusion, reminding you that I see you, that I am watching every breath you take, that I know every beat of your heart. When you suddenly encounter a verse of scripture that makes your spirit awaken, when you hear a song that brings you to tears and you do not even know why, when a stranger speaks exactly to the burden you are carrying, that is not chance, that is me taking your hand. But my child, I know why you sometimes doubt. It is because you have walked through long days of shaken faith, through dark stretches where you could no longer distinguish my voice from the noise of your own heart. You are afraid to believe the wrong thing, afraid to hope and then be disappointed, afraid that if you open your heart you will be hurt again. I understand that, but I want you to know that the signs I send always carry the imprint of heaven, and you will recognize them when you allow your heart to slow down enough, to quiet itself enough, to listen deeply enough. My beloved child, there are signs I send that are not meant to bring you immediate comfort, but to invite you into a new journey of faith. Like the widow at Zarephath, a woman with only a handful of flour and a little oil left, who felt she had nothing left to lean on except a cup full of salty tears. Her life seemed to have been pressed to the very wall, with no escape from hunger and lack. But I sent her a sign, a request that seemed impossible. Make a small cake for me first. She could have refused. She could have held tight to that last bit of provision for herself and her trembling child. She could have looked at her circumstances and ignored my voice. If she had brushed aside that sign, perhaps history would have recorded nothing of her, and her life would have been swallowed up in the same famine that consumed so many others. But my child, she did not turn away. She obeyed me in her poverty, not because she had much, but because she placed her hope in me. And because of that obedience, because she recognized the sign I sent through Elijah, I caused the flour in her jar never to run out, and the oil in her jug never to dry up throughout the whole season of famine. A small sign, a request that was not easy, yet it opened up an entire journey of miracles. If that woman had only looked at her circumstances, she would have died in lack. But because she looked to me, she lived in provision. Do you see? The signs I send sometimes look like tests, but in reality they are doors leading you into a new season in my grace. My beloved child, even today I still work in the same way, and I still send signs into your life in exactly the same manner, through gentle reminders, through stirrings in your heart, through events that arrive at just the right time so that you know I am inviting you to step up to a higher place. I never call you to take a step of faith in order to harm you. I do not test you to see whether you are good enough. I invite you to walk with me so that I may bless you, so that what I have sown in you may grow, so that doors may open which you would never reach if you walked only by reason. I do not need you to walk in your own strength. I only need you to entrust me with your trust. When you give me what is small, I give back what is great. When you give me your fear, I give you my peace. When you offer me your trembling steps, I set before you a firm and steady path. But my dear child, to recognize these signs, you need to open your heart, open your spiritual eyes, open the heart that has closed because of disappointment, open those deep places inside you that you have never dared to let the light shine into. I do not force you to look at me with perfect eyes. I only want you to look at me with your real eyes, even if they are still wet with tears or still hesitant. I will help you discern what is from me and what is not. I will guide you step by step, like a patient father teaching his child to walk, not rushing, not angry, not giving up. Every sign I send is like a gentle knock on the door of your heart. You only need to open it a little, and I will come in. I want you to understand one more important thing. The signs I send are not merely to reassure you, but also so that you may cooperate with me. I did not create you to stand outside the story I am writing for your very life. I want you to walk with me, to build with me, to obey with me, to trust with me, so that my will may be fulfilled completely in you. These invitations are never one-sided. I do not call you so that you must manage everything on your own. I call you so that I can do great things through your very obedience. When you recognize the signals I send and step forward, you are opening the way for me to work more powerfully in your life. Therefore, do not overlook the things I am placing along your path. Do not let them pass by like a passing breeze. Do not let them be hidden by fear or doubt. See them as words of love from the one who has never left you. I did not leave you yesterday. I will not leave you today, and I will not leave you in the days to come. You are held in my hand, a hand that is mighty and righteous, yet also full of gentleness. Believe that I am near. Believe that I am at work. Believe that I am preparing the way, even when you cannot yet see it with your natural eyes. I am still who I am, the faithful one, the good one, the loving one, the one who never lets a single tear of yours fall without meaning. Beloved child, I send signs not to test your strength, but to lead you into a life that is more abundant. I place gentle prompts in your heart not to make you afraid, but so that your heart remembers it is loved, protected, and guided. I want you to know that every step I tell you to take is a step that leads to blessing. You do not need to be perfect in order to hear me. You only need to be sincere in your desire to know me. I will lead you. I will teach you to discern. I will open your eyes. I will shine light on what you do not yet understand. You only need to place your hand in mine. And finally, my child, believe in my love that goes beyond every limit you have ever known. I do not love you because you are strong. I love you even when you are weak. I do not love you because you have great faith. I love even the tiny tremblings in your heart. I do not love you because you are always right. I love you because you belong to me. Follow the signs I send, and you will see that I stand beside you every second, go before you every step, and surround you every day with a love that your whole lifetime will never be able to fully comprehend. Trust me, for I have never, and I will never, abandon you. You belong to me forever. My child, this is the moment for your heart to grow quiet and open before me. Lay down every worry, and let your breathing blend with the peace that I give. Now, lift up to me the most honest prayer from the deepest place of your soul. Almighty God, today I come before you with a trembling yet longing heart, asking that you open my spiritual eyes so I may recognize every sign you are sending along my life's path. Please do not let me take lightly your gentle warnings. Do not let my heart grow calloused to the small urgings that come from you. Help me to stop when you pull me back, to turn around when you remind me, to run away from danger when you place unease in my heart. Lord, please do not let me take even one more step astray into the darkness I am unaware of. Soften my heart so that it may obey, for it is obedience that opens the way for me to step into the peace you have prepared for me. Lord, the God who sees all, please grant me a sensitive heart so I do not miss a single sign that you use to protect me. I know that there are things that come to me very softly, very briefly, yet they carry an entire guidance from heaven, and if I miss them, I will slip away from the path you have ordained. Keep me from carelessness, from a hurried lifestyle that makes me blind to your leading. Help me to sense your voice through the smallest things, a gentle prompting within, a timely verse from Scripture, or a nameless unease in my heart. Lord, teach me that no sign is meaningless, and that each one is evidence of your love. Merciful God, there are times when my heart grows slow to listen, times when I live as though I can control my own life. Please forgive me for the moments I have despised your protection. Lift me out of the habit of ignoring your promptings, and place in me a holy fear, so I no longer dare to take lightly anything that comes from you. I ask that you give me courage to leave behind places, people, and things that you do not want me to cling to. Help me to be thankful for every warning you send, thankful that you do not abandon me, even when I so often ignore you. Lord, my shepherd, I thank you because you continually guard my soul from things that would break me if I touched them. Thank you for the urgings that sometimes make me uncomfortable, yet rescue my spiritual life from silent destruction. I know that not a single sign you send is meaningless. Each one is placed at the right time and in the right place. I thank you for your loving providence, for the hands that never lift away from my life. Faithful One, my heart gives thanks for every sign you send, every gentle warning, every quiet step of guidance. I thank you that you are not only the one who commands, but the one who loves, the Father who knows exactly what is best for me. Thank you for the protection that comes from heaven, a protection that even my own wisdom could never obtain for itself. I give you thanks that you did not save me only once, but you save me every day, through each sign, each word you speak, each touch in my spirit. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so that together we can build a strong and vibrant community of faith.